Calling this hearing to order. Today, the committee will examine the SBA's lending and investment programs and what steps the agency is taking to strengthen these initiatives. This hearing is timely given concerns about the economy, particularly the tightening of credit availability following the subprime mortgage fallout. Access to capital is critical to small business, investment, growth, and competitiveness. The current downturn, rising loan foreclosures, and a falling housing market have caused financial institutions to tighten their credit standards. As a recent Federal Reserve survey confirms, more than 30% of lenders are raising their lending criteria for small firms. For entrepreneurs, the rising cost of capital can cause many to forego important purchases or expansion. This dampening effect has the potential to reduce entrepreneurial activity in the short term and further hinder economic growth over the long term. In this environment, the SBA's lending and investment programs played their most vital role, as there is an opportunity to provide capital to businesses who can no longer access affordable private alternatives. Small businesses are the nation's largest employer and create roughly 80% of domestic job growth. Today's hearing seeks to determine what steps the SBA is taking to meet the needs of our nation's small businesses, making access to their loan programs easier. Recently, instead of providing crucial financing for small businesses, challenges facing the agency have resulted in reduced lender participation, lower loan volume to small businesses, and rising costs. As we will hear today, many of these developments are in the agency's flagship 7A loan program. The dollar amount of 7A loans are decreasing, and the number of financial institutions participating in the program have been declining. A new 7A oversight fee has been added, and even more fees are proposed for next year. These new costs come at a time when small businesses can least afford them. Last year, the House took action to address these concerns by passing H.R. 1332, a bill that I sponsored. At the same time, the agency's seed capital initiative, the SBIC, participating securities program, remains closed with little hope of seeing new life. This program is critical to small business growth as sources of equity investment dry up quickly in economic downturns. Small, high-growth entrepreneurs are left with fewer options for financing. Again, there are solutions on the table, including H.R. 3567, which creates a new startup financing program and passed the House by a strong bipartisan vote. Further restricting access to capital, the administration proposed this year to increase the interest rates borrowers pay for microloans. This will have the effect of raising the cost of loans for low-income borrowers at a time when other options are not available. H.R. 3020, which was sponsored by Ranking Member Shabbat, takes steps to modernize the program without raising the costs for low-income borrowers. This bill has also passed the House this session. While the committee is working to advance these proposals in the Senate, several new laws have recently been enacted to provide low-cost small business loans for veterans and energy-efficient technologies. These types of initiatives show great promise to get capital in the hands of entrepreneurs, and we look forward to the SBA's near-term implementation of them both. It's clear that SBA's lending and investment programs are an important tool for small businesses, particularly in a faltering economy. As businesses face challenges securing affordable financing, a commitment to modernize and strengthen these initiatives will provide necessary alternatives. Our hearing will call attention to the challenges facing these programs so that Congress can act quickly to provide the resources and reforms needed for the growth and expansion of our community businesses. I want to thank all of our witnesses who are here today in advance for your testimony and subject matter expertise, and now recognize our ranking member for his opening statement.
I want to thank the Chair for yielding and for calling this hearing today on a matter important to millions of Americans. I'd like to also extend my thanks to our witnesses who have taken time out of their busy schedules to provide this subcommittee with a testimony today. Today, too many small business entrepreneurs find themselves struggling in this volatile economy. They are entangled in government red tape, victimized by excessive frivolous litigation, or burdened by high costs of health care. But all this is made worse when small businesses cannot access capital it needs to start or expand an enterprise. The SBA 7A and the 504 lending programs are vital for the success of our nation's small businesses. It is evident that the number of lenders under the SBA financing program has decreased, and of course, some of that decrease is attributable to the continuing consolidation of the banking industry. But while the SBA is trying to increase participation in this program, it also has taken steps that make it tough. by raising fees to lenders. This is one of the areas I hope we can discuss a little bit more today. The good news is we have made important strides in this committee over the past year. Chairwoman Bean sponsored and I supported bipartisan legislation aiming at reducing lending fees and increasing small business access to capital. H.R. 1332 improves and strengthens the SBA programs, successful programs 7A, and the CDC loan programs. This pivotal legislation enables the SBA financing programs to operate without subsidy, and that's important. Should tax dollars be appropriated, the bill would require these additional funds to be used to reduce borrowing fees. And finally, regarding the SBA investment program, obviously when a small business is in short supply of needed capital, it faces the choice of either accumulating more debt in forms of loan or reducing its control of the company by selling stock to investors. But the SBA program and attracting investment are in tough cases that are unclear and unhelpful. The business owners can be hit with enormous tax penalties if it sells its equity, or small business investments can itself tax the public treasury if unforeseen loopholes are allowed to escape scrutiny. The SBA was created to help small business compete in good times and survive in tough times. The essential purpose of these hearings is to determine whether existing programs are, as constituted, fair to both the borrower and the lender, and determine whether the cost of possible reforms do not unduly penalize the American taxpayer. I look forward to working with Chairwoman Bean to ensure that the SBA financing program operates as efficiently and as effectively as possible.